everyone, my name is Victoria Nicholson and this is my final social media plan presentation. The brand that I chose is a local dance studio named Prodigy Dance Center. Prodigy's mission statement is to provide services and training in the art of dance with students in order to help them pursue their own personal goals and to help them reach their dreams. The reason I chose this brand was because I have been involved with Prodigy ever since they opened their doors. This is a locally owned dance studio, like I mentioned. Shane Hall, who is a Columbus native, moved away and came back and decided to open up this facility. And like I said, I've been dancing here for 7 years, grew up dancing there competitively, and now I am employed there for going on about 4 years. This is a wonderful business overall, and I definitely felt a passion for it when during one of our staff meetings we realized that our social media was struggling, and I thought that this applied perfectly to the course. So this brand just has a very special place in my heart. The brand Prodigy Dance Center, like previously mentioned, is a locally owned dance studio that's been up and running for 11 years. It was recently named Favorite Dance Studio by Reader's Choice Award for 2018, but has also won the past 9 years in a row. Prodigy has grown tremendously from just 4 girls when it first opened to now over 200 students being enrolled at this dance facility. So for my corporate blog, I titled it Dancing to the Beat of a New Drum. Typically when you think of dance studios, you think of plain big giant rooms that have, ballet bars across, giant mirrors, ladies in tights, leotards, those types of things. However, when Prodigy came to Columbus, it really changed the way that this small town viewed dance. The owner and artistic director of the dance studio recently came off Broadway. He's performed in cruise ships. He's performed on stages all over the U.S. and internationally. And he took dance into not just an everyday hobby, but to encourage young dancers to go out and pursue their dreams, and how just because you take dance classes doesn't mean it has to just be a boring dance class or a ballet class, but you can actually pursue a career in it. So this kind of shook Columbus, Georgia by storm and changed up the way that typical dance classes were taught. He was bringing in guest choreographers, guest teachers, all to this dance studio to influence dancers that were involved in Prodigy. The establishment of Prodigy took place in 2008, and it really gave dancers and parents the ultimate dance experience. From a beautiful lobby with a big crystal chandelier, bright colors in the room, and really all the amenities inside that any dancer would need. I kind of use that as fuel for my blog in order to get across that this is not just your average dance studio, and how we can kind of highlight that in this social media plan, because it is one of the most, I guess you would say, this is the biggest advantage we have over other dance studios. The target publics are dancers or aspiring dancers. We offer classes for kids all the way from 2 years old all the way to seniors in high school. So young professionals who need to just step in dance classes, or parents who are looking for places for their students, or for dancers who are on social media and are looking for a new place to grow their talents. This is the perfect place for them, and that's who our social media is targeting. Social media goals. The number one goal of Prodigy Dance Center from a social media standpoint is to grow the business by attracting new students and using social media to keep parents informed on general studio information. I have found working at the studio that it is very important that the parents are in the know. They know what's happening at all times, keeping constant information coming their way, and also to make sure that the social media that's being presented, even if it's general studio information, it's presented in a creative way that'll capture people's attention, and also things that'll draw students, taking videos and pictures and posting them in class and using social media as an outlet to show other students what makes Prodigy so different. For my social media audit, the three main things that I did was I went on Google and I searched the brand automatically, Prodigy Dance Center, put it in the Google search bar and saw what came up. And then from there, I went and looked at all of the different websites where Prodigy was listed, looked at different forms of social media that we have, from our Facebook to our Instagram to our website, and just made sure that our social media was parallel with what we actually are at the studio, and make sure that we check the content and that it matches, our actions speak with our words, and that what we're offering online is the same that we would offer in the door, and that it's in a captivating way. So, for my SWOT analysis, starting with our strengths, Prodigy's strengths include strong social media presence. There's always been a really strong social media presence at Prodigy that's recently picked up within the past 2 years as we've recently hired a new studio manager who understands the importance of social media. Another thing is that we're consistent with our social media. I think it's very important that you continue posting throughout the day, because when you post one day, chances are a lot of people may not see it. Post it another day, you just reach a larger audience. Also, another strength of Prodigy is we have a good word of mouth as far as publicity goes. Publicity is really important, especially in a small town and with a local business. It's really great that even if social media was not used today as much as it is, Prodigy would still do fairly well in the competitive dance field because of the great publicity we have through word of mouth. Some of the weaknesses, however, for Prodigy is the lack of social media that specifically caters to attract new clients. A lot of stuff that we have is only specific to our dancers that we already have. So I think it's important going forward, and some of the things that I tried to incorporate in the social media plan, as you can see later on, is that we need to do things to attract new dancers, which is going to bring us more business and more money. Some of the threats to Prodigy is other local dance studios that have more social media involvement. As you can see further on down the presentation, I recently compared 2 local dance studios, and this doesn't seem to be a huge threat. However, if other studios began to pick up on how important social media is, it could potentially become even more of a threat. It's just something that I think is important to stay aware of. Some of the opportunities that Prodigy has is they need to take advantage of other social media platforms to expand their audience. Right now, the only 3 social media platforms that we really use are Facebook, Instagram, and our website. Other than that, we really don't use Snapchat, we don't use Twitter, and I think it's important that even though those aren't as popular, in order to reach a wider range of people and a bigger demographic, I think it's important to take advantage and to expand. Like I mentioned in the last slide, I did do the, I'm going to start that over. The competitor analysis, like I mentioned previously, Performance Dance Center and Academy Dance Center are also 2 local dance studios here in Columbus, Georgia. And what I did when I was approaching this was I acknowledged the advantages and the strengths that they played to for each of their social media presences. Performance Dance Center, I noticed on their website that all of their stuff is very outdated. There didn't seem to be hardly any new information, new photos, new clips. It was very outdated. Their social media was outdated. There was not any bright colors. You can just tell they aren't up to date in their social media. Academy Dance Center, however, they have a very interesting way of posting social media. They use videos, which I found to be very interesting. They used videos as most of their publicity. So as where Prodigy will make a quick post on Facebook, like, make sure you come check out our Parent Watch Week. Academy Dance Center, on the other hand, would make a full video that may not have pictures or videos of their students, but it's a constant moving video that shows their announcements, which I thought was very interesting and very neat and something to definitely look into for our business. I also noticed that both of these had more followers, but less information. Both of these competitors didn't have as much information on their websites and on their social media as Prodigy did, and it wasn't as up to date. So I thought that was an advantage and a thumbs up for Prodigy. Social media tactics. Some of the tactics moving forward that I think are important for Prodigy in order to succeed and to grow is to stay consistent. I think it's important that if we get on a roll with our social media, it needs to stay on a roll. Constantly posting, using that social media content calendar in order to get the most out of what social media has to offer. Also, making sure to post every day on social media. Another thing is to keep the audience informed. Make sure that they know what's going on at Prodigy. If we're having Parent Watch Week, it needs to be posted on social media. Also, get creative in the approach and the appeal. I think just posting a simple come to Parent Watch Week is fine and it gets the point across. However, it's not going to captivate new students and bring a new clientele like something a little bit more exciting would. 1 month social media post. So in my social media content calendar, basically what I did was I kind of analyzed that and I came up with 3 main goals and things that are important when moving forward from this point on into 1 month social media posts. And the first thing is to attract new clients with the content posted. Whatever we post, it needs to be bright, it needs to be colorful, it needs to be engaging, but more importantly, it needs to attract new clients. Another thing is to better inform our current clients with more frequent posts. Like I mentioned previously, it is very important that these dance parents are informed on what's going on and that we are frequently reminding them. Sometimes one post isn't enough. You need to remind them 3 or 4 times just to make sure that the point gets across. And that's with any social media, whether you're making a post, like I said earlier, if you make a post one day, it's okay to post it again the next day because new audience may see it. And lastly, to expand to new social media platforms with keeping the overall goal in mind. Like I said, the overall goal of Prodigy Dance Center's social media plan is to bring in new clientele, keep the clientele we have, and grow the business. And the best way to do that is by utilizing what the world is using as a main form of communication, and that is social media. So I think as long as we remember that it's okay to branch out and use lots of forms of social media and to continue posting and stay consistent and attract new clients, we can keep that overall goal in mind and help grow Prodigy as a business and also help them improve their social media plan. Thank you.